everyone! So this week, and also at one point a few months ago, I posted on my Instagram stories asking people for questions that they wanted me to answer in a Q&A video. So today we are finally getting around to making that video. While I do this, I am going to be taking care of some leather things that need a little conditioning. So we're just gonna be sitting here answering some questions and making my leather pieces nice and pretty again, because they are a little neglected. Alright, so jumping into my old questions from November, apparently, of last year. We're going to start with this one. So Jedi Gem asked, what are your favorite and least favorite parts of cosplaying? So, my favorite parts of cosplaying is seeing things come together and start looking beautiful. And then also getting to be my favorite characters. Getting to dress up in cool outfits and pretend to be my favorite characters and, you know, make beautiful art with awesome photographers. My least favorite part of cosplaying is hemming. I hate hemming so much. Also, things that just take way too long to do, you know? Like the welt pockets on my Aziraphale vest that I have been putting off so much. So, next question. Flaming Monkey Society Cosplay asked, what is my least favorite material to work with? So, when I was looking over these questions, I was like, okay, what do I hate working with? And my initial thought was stretch knits. And I do hate working with stretch knits. But then I thought, and it's not quite technically a material per se, but Burda patterns. I hate them so much. Like, the devil works for Burda. I swear to God. Like, I have made 2 things with Burda patterns. Well, 1 3/4. And both have been nightmares. So, the first thing I made with the Burda pattern was one of my very early projects, unfortunately, and that was my Howling Commandos Bucky jacket. And, well, it got made eventually. It did get finished, but it took a lot of effort, and there was one point where, because it was pretty early in my cosplay career, my mother and I could not figure it out ourselves, so we had to call our family friend who is had a lot more experience. And she looked at the pattern and was like, yeah, no, this is ridiculous. What is this? So that just goes to show just how horrid that pattern was, that a very experienced and accomplished sewer was thinking it was absolute crackpot nonsense. And then the other one is, you may know, that's the wrong way. You can't see it from here. Okay. The black coat on the mannequin that you may have seen in the background of my videos that has been sitting there partially finished, gathering dust and hogging several of my pins for like 4 years because I cannot get it finished, and I am like this close to giving up. But that fabric was very expensive, so I'm conflicted. But anyway, yeah. Burda patterns, least favorite thing, do not recommend, avoid at all costs. Okay, so the last one of my questions from November. This is why I did not do my questions video back then when I first did this question, because I only got 3 questions. So, last question from the first batch is from Joel the Geek, who, by the way, is a fellow YouTuber, so you should check him out. And he asked, what new con would you like to go to? Well, the only con I have on my current schedule right now is Emerald City Comic Con in August, which I go to every year except for in December of 2021 because I was not comfy yet, and I waited too long as well to get tickets. And I don't really know what a lot of new cons are. if I'm gonna be perfectly honest. So I don't entirely know the answer to that question. I have been considering going to PAX West for just like one day this year because I want to see like what D&D stuff and other tabletop things they might have. And I'd probably just go casual, just actually go to a con, not in cosplay for once in my life. It's like I don't do video games, but I do play D&D, so I might just go to that for a day just to check it out, you know? I don't really know what new cons there are or anything. I'm hoping one day that Star Wars Celebration comes to Seattle so I can go, because I'm not rich enough to travel for that. So, yeah, that is the not very satisfying answer to that question. And those questions were all I needed to fix up my raid belt. It's looking a lot better. It's still got the fact that it took me so long to actually get around to it has made it that it's like there's definitely a little bit of like creasing and stuff where it takes the most, you know, but it's looking a lot better. It's softer now and doesn't look like it's gonna like totally crack. I might need to do a little bit more on this part right here. It's a little rough. We'll come back to it. We'll do my Poe belt, which is not in as rough of shape, but it's definitely a little bit messy over where it buckles, you know? All right, so now we come into the ones that I actually asked this week. So the people that asked them will probably actually remember having asked them. Okay, next question is from Girl with the Blue Hair, who is one of my favorite photographers to work with. Absolutely adore her. And she asked, which cosplay do you connect with the most? That is hard to answer because I only really cosplay characters I connect to in some regard. Rey, definitely, I connect with probably the most of all. She's probably one of the characters I have the most in common with of the characters I cosplay, just as far as like personality and like all that. Oh dear. Okay. So that one's the obvious answer. Definitely connect with Rey a lot. And then I wouldn't say it's necessarily like connecting with, but like one of the ones that like when I first put them on and first did a shoot with them, I was just like automatically, it just clicked. Like one of the ones that happened with the most was Caleb from Critical Role. So it's like I don't have as much in common with Caleb, thank God, because he is one messed up fella. Speaking of which, time to take care of his holster. So I don't really have like that much in common with Caleb except for like a couple little things, but yeah, it just feels very natural when I'm Caleb, just like it just feels very natural when I'm Rey. So I'd say Rey and Caleb probably are the ones that I connect to the most. Now the next two questions are from the same person. Jedi Mage Cosplay asked, how do you decide which cosplays to make? And that one's actually pretty simple. It's really just characters and costume designs that just jump out to me the most. It's like characters that I adore, like Rey, Poe, Caleb. And then costume designs, like if I didn't like the costume design for a character, even if I loved the character, I wouldn't necessarily cosplay them. It's like that's part of why it took me so long to cosplay Wanda, is because even though I did like her other costume designs, I didn't like any of them as much until her WandaVision final suit. That one is her best look, obviously. Though Multiverse of Madness is gonna give it a run for its money, I think. And then, yeah, then there's just some like Rey and Poe and Caleb where it's just like, I literally will probably, well actually I know I'm going to cosplay every look that they have because I have all of those planned. And so yeah, there's just some that's like, it depends. It's like some of them it's the character, some of them it's the design. Like Laudna, I love her character so much, but like I decided to cosplay her literally the second I saw her in the first episode of Campaign 3. So that one was a bit more design than character decision. But then it was just like the farther I got into it, like the more it was like, oh yeah, this was a good choice. So the final question is also from Raven Mage Cosplay, and she asked a non-cosplay question this time, and that is, what's one of your favorite moments in Critical Role history? That, my friend, is a very hard question, and I have been trying to think of the answer ever since I saw your question. There's ones that are like obvious, like Jester's cupcake moment. That one is obviously iconic. Love that one. So obviously the cupcake moment, that one, everyone loves that. There's a lot of things to choose from. It's really hard. I'd say there's a lot of, not necessarily like specific things, but like things with Caleb that are just like his general journey of healing and character development is just really wonderful. And so it's just like every time like he has like one of those moments of like, this is an important healing moment for him, those are always really great, and I love those. Well, I love pirates, so I really loved when they accidentally became pirates, you know? That part was fun. But then there's also, okay, you know what? There's a lot of Caleb and Essek moments that I really love. Like, I really love the moment in Nicodranus when they confront him, when it's during the gala, you know, and they find out that he's the one who basically started the war. And Caleb has this little pep talk with him, because there are just so many excellent moments in that whole monologue, and it's just so powerful, the parallels between their two characters and like all of that. And also the line, "You were not born with venom in your veins," like that line, oh my god. It's like, Liam O'Brien, the fact that you can just come up with that line out of thin air, just improvise something like that. Like, wow, like that would take me like several minutes of sitting at a desk with an open Word document sitting in front of me and trying to come up with it. Like, dang, dude, that line. But then also, like, when in the Campaign 2 epilogue, when Caleb and Essek go back to Aor and making a mess again, and Caleb destroys all of the time travel stuff. Rather than going back, he tells Essek what he would do, what his plan has been all of this time to save his parents, and then he has that ultimate final moment of healing of, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather have the life that I have had, even if it hurt. That moment is just so good. And the fact that Essek has also had character development at that point and recognizes that that was the right decision to make. Yeah, just okay. I can't come up with one exact. There's just so many good moments, and they're pretty much all in Campaign 2 because it's the only one I've watched all of it. Because I am still very early in Campaign 1, and I'm really behind on Campaign 3. So yeah, if I were to pick one moment from each campaign, Campaign 2 is impossible, as we have seen. Campaign 1, I'm still only in the Briarwood arc, so that one is really hard to decide on a favorite moment. But honestly, anytime Percy goes no mercy Percy at this point, at where I'm at in watching, because it's just so fun, and I love Percy. And Campaign 3, I am like halfway through episode 14, so I'm still pretty early in that one. But I think when, it's just a little moment, it's nothing big at this point, but when Dorian is going to do some sort of performance, I don't remember what exactly the context was, and Orm just druid crafts a little flower to fancy him up and put in his hair. That moment was just real sweet and cute. Also, just literally any chaotic fern moment is just perfection. Very much enjoying having Ashley here all the time. Alright, so that is all the questions that I got. This was pretty fun, and it's a good way to kick my butt into gear doing some little maintenance things that I need to do, so definitely gonna do this again in the future. So start brainstorming any questions you might want to ask me next time. That is all we got for today. So thank you for your questions. They were really fun to answer, and thank you for watching. Hopefully I will be able to actually finish my Aziraphale cosplay soon so I can finally get that out several months late. But things have been crazy in my life, so it's been a while. Anyway, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later.